research project that we are doing focuses on female multicultural aged care workers.
This project is important to us because we're trying to address the crisis in aged care workforce in Australia. By 2050, we will require 750,000 workforce to care for the 3.5 million older people in Australia.
I worked in aged care 2014. I have been working in aged care about 5 years. I chose to work aged care because I feel that's interesting. I can get more caring skills and experience to look after my resident. Even for my parents after, I can give them good service, good caring.
I came here as my husband independent spouse, and one of my sisters suggested me to join aged care. And then I got study for 6 months and I got certificate over that, and then I applied for the job and luckily I got job. And I love the environment so much. I love the people, variety of people from the world, and I love the work. That's why I just decided myself to be an aged care worker in a facility, and I started working over there. And the reason behind choosing the aged care is there is a lot of older people where I can help.
I'm Uni from Nepal. I'm 33 years old and I came to Australia in 2011. When I came to Australia, I was looking for a job, and a kind of job where I can enhance my skills, knowledge. So one of my friends suggested me to join the aged care course. I joined the aged care course and then I went for the placement, and I enjoy working with elderly, working with the team members who are from the different background, different countries. They have different values, religious values and cultural values. So I enjoyed working with them. At the same time, the facility offered me the job.
And I migrated to Australia about 10 years ago. The main reason I migrated to Australia is because my husband was born in Australia. Regarding to working aged care was introduced to me by one of my teachers, I should say, when I was initially studying English, like government-funded 500 hours something English study. So I was introduced by one of the teachers, say, well, this is one of possibilities that you could work in the future. The main reason is I have talked to her what I want to do for the future, which I want to be a nurse. She recommended could be a pathway for nursing. So that's how I get into aged care, which I have been working in aged care about 10 years now.
As a migrant woman myself, I have always been interested in caring for older people from multicultural background, as well as examining how aged care workforce staff coming from multicultural background can continue to work in Australia.
To be honest, it is a little bit challenge and difficult to work in aged care since who coming from the multicultural.
Working as a multicultural aged care worker, there is a lot of challenges. Language barrier, communication barriers, structure barrier. It's very hard to communicate with the person who is not from your one country, who is from the different part of the country. It's very hard because we don't have the same language. And communication, if someone is trying, the people from the worker from the other country, other place, they are trying to say something and we just understand something. Whenever we try to say something, they just understand other things. There is this communication problem. And sometimes we just have some problem with the resident as well, because we just try to do something, we just try to help something, but they just take it in a wrong way sometimes, it's something, challenges like that.
The main challenge is working as an aged care worker from the different countries or different background is I think the language barrier and the cultural values, religious values, it is teamwork. So we have to work together, and if there is some different way to work or different way to think, it will clash. So it will be hard to complete the task. So that's the main challenges, I think. Yeah.
The main challenge as a multicultural background female aged care worker, from my personal point of view, I would think that will be racist. Not much from the organization level, but rather than from family and residents themselves, as well as co-workers. So that's the main barrier, main challenging for me.
Therefore, we're trying to understand the kinds of social resilience. So what we mean by social resilience is not just that the workers themselves are resilient migrant workers, but how do we, as a society, how does the community, how do their workplace support them to gain the sense of social resilience so that they can continue to work in aged care?
The support I need are, I hope I can get more working skills training, the language training, the culture training, more staff working together, and happy salary paid.
If there is a management giving a good skills training for the multicultural people to understand what they are and where they come from, it would be very helpful for us to continue the aged care work in our further days as well.
I think we need help and support from the management mainly, because they are the one who set up everything in a workplace. So they can organize some kind of get together or some kind of programs where we can express ourselves, we can put our opinion, views, so it will be easier for us to understand each other, so we can work as a team.
The majority of the workers come from multicultural background, so we should put some emotional support or even physical support to help them to overcome when the barriers, if there is any. From individual level, I think as myself, I would love to do more research or more study or more learning about the other cultures to try to understand their culture, rather than, sometimes if I get offended or whatever due to different language, I should, try to find what exactly it means from their perspective of view. So which comes down to communication, which is the most important thing.
This project is particularly important because we're trying to address the gaps in research evidence about the care delivered by the multicultural aged care workforce. Our findings so far from the project indicated that there is a need for ongoing professional development, there's a need for support for these workers, an opportunity for them to network, and also ideally a professional body for them to continue their work in Australia.